friends, let's talk about another cue card. So the topic which I'm going to discuss today is describe a skill that you learned from older people. So you need to talk about a skill that you learned from older people. So as it says learned means you have to talk about something that is related to past tense, something you have already learned. So the questions are, first, what the skill is. You need to talk about the name of the skill. Second, who you learned it from. So you need to talk about the person who taught you that particular skill. Third, how you learned it. How means the method, the strategies, the way. And then the last is, how did you feel after learning it. So there are the 4 questions that you have to answer step by step once you start talking about this particular cue card. So as usual, we are going to start with an introduction. That introduction should be precise and related to the topic. So here we have taken an introduction like this. Older people are the storehouse of knowledge, skills and experience. So we can learn ample of skills from them. So they are the storehouse of knowledge, skills and experience. Storehouse means wherein all these things are stored together, and since they are the storehouse, we can learn ample of skills from them. Ample of means enough, a lot of skills, sufficient. Okay, so we can learn many things. Now the first question, what the skill is. The skill I learned was time management. So here we are going to talk about time management skills. That is the much needed thing in the contemporary era. Okay, then something further about it. So what I learned is how to utilize my time efficiently. So utilize means use it in the optimum level, or whatever the resources you have, use these resources in the best possible manner. Because if we talk about time, everybody has the same 24 hours in a day, but now the way they are utilizing these 24 hours are going to make the difference. Okay, so I can improve my work efficiency in lesser time and enjoy adequate time for recreation. Adequate means sufficient. Okay, so basically I learned how I can complete my task in a faster pace, and once my task is completed, I can have sufficient time for myself. I can improve my skills, other skills like my hobbies basically, and I can enjoy that time with my friends, with my family, or on my recreational activities. So for that reason, the time management is the most important thing. Second, who taught me this? So my grandfather taught me about it. So since this is about older people means you need to talk about someone older. So the best person is my grandfather, who could teach me about it. And now what he taught me the very first thing is that I need to do a time audit by myself. Time audit means I need to keep checking on the daily basis, like on what activities I'm spending time and how much time I'm spending on different activities. So he taught me very precisely, and each and everything, this is what I supposed to do if I want to make a time audit, so that I can actually come to know that where my time is draining out. Then the second is blockout distractions. So obviously no one can deny that these days social media applications are the biggest distractions. As soon as you start studying, as soon as you start working, at the same time, you will get a notification, a ting sound, okay, and that's enough to distract you. You quickly just check your mobile and see who has messaged you, and then you don't realize how do you involve yourself in the chatting and messaging, and you forget you are actually completing your task. So this is how we need to block out distractions, the things which are consuming the most important time of our life. Now the next after that is we have to avoid multitasking. So that multitasking, that seems to be quite fascinating idea, and people feel proud when they say I'm a great multitasker. Okay, but since this is scientifically proven that multitasking is actually nothing, when you are focusing on more than one activity at one time, it means your attention, your focus is also distracted, and it's going to hamper the quality of work. Right. So the another thing that my grandfather told me is I need to avoid multitasking. I should focus on one particular activity at one particular time so that I can finish it up early and at the same time my response would be more productive and better. And the next thing is I need to prioritize my task. Prioritize means I need to rank the task. The most important task I have to keep on the top priority list, and the less important task can be written down in the bottom priority list, so that I do not feel stressed. Even after working the full day, in evening I realized that I missed something, the most important part. So that's going to give a lot of stress. So that is why prioritizing your activities, prioritizing your tasks is another important or is another significant part of your day-to-day life. The next we have is get enough time to rest. So now what is happening generally, and in fact that was the same case with me earlier. I used to be spending a lot of time on watching Instagram reels and Facebook and all such things, and once I opened my Instagram account, and what used to be happening, I keep on watching the reels for hours, for half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, and I could not realize actually how much time I was wasting into that. Initially I felt happy because it was distracting me from the stress of my work, but gradually I realized I became addicted to it and it was killing my precious time. Right, so what we need to do is we need to get enough time to rest instead of spending time uselessly on social media. We should take proper rest, proper sleep at that particular time, so that again our work efficiency would be increased. Now why I approached my grandfather, because my grandfather observed that by the time I started working in a multinational company, I used to be quite irritated and frustrated, and I was not the one as I used to be earlier, a quite humorous and a jolly natured person. And when I shared the problem that I was facing, and that the problem was I wasn't able to cope up with the deadlines, then at that time he told me everything and he guided me step by step nicely. So because of that reason I needed to take his help for the time management skill. Then the third question, how did you learn it, or how you learned it? Initially I was struggling drastically. Okay, so drastically means quite a lot. I couldn't understand how to do all such things. So I was struggling drastically, but after practicing for 4 months the same routine, and that too again under the supervision of my grandfather, I started following his guidelines. Okay, so I kept on doing that audit again and again. I started making that to-do list. Then I started avoiding multitasking. I kept a particular time to checking my social media applications so that I can keep connected with my friends. At the same time that these applications are not going to hamper my work. So this is what I started doing. Then the same, right, I used to make to-do list. So what I did, I used to is used for what? It's used for past habit, or the things that you used to be doing earlier. So I used to make to-do list. Then I used to keep my social media apps blocked during work mode. So if I was working, I wasn't using these social media apps. Alright, and I learned to overcome the temptations. Temptations means the interest, the likingness that you have to keep checking your mobile again and again, that someone of some of your loved ones must have sent some message. So what do? You keep on checking it. So I learned how I can overcome, how I can win that strong feelings of checking Instagram and Facebook. So initially actually I was overpowered by these things. I wasn't getting rid of it. Then gradually my grandfather guided me. I also learned the same, and I realized how to get away from everything. How did you feel after learning it? Now how did I feel? So I witnessed. Witness means I saw. I witnessed tremendous and drastic improvement in my performance at workplace. Tremendous means quite a lot. So tremendous and drastic both are having the same meaning, and that is quite a lot. So I witnessed tremendous or dramatic or drastic improvement in my performance at my workplace, and in fact recently I won this award, and award is Employee of the Year. So since the management, I was doing nicely, and the management could realize my worth in that organization, and they have checked, they have supervised my performance. So finally I was awarded this employee of the year, and when I achieved this award, I was feeling on 7th heaven, or I was feeling on cloud 9. So 7th heaven or cloud 9 means I was extremely happy, I was extremely delighted, and I thanked my grandfather from bottom of my heart for this precious skill he taught me. So though my grandfather would not live with me forever, however, the things, the skills that he taught me would stay with me till my last breath. Okay, so I hope this topic is clear to you. If you like this video, don't forget to click on that like button and share it among your friends. Keep learning with me. All the best.